You're like, that's amazing for you. Moving right along.
No,
let's find our other community.
No, so I think as an instructor, it's a really interesting viewpoint because even instructors sometimes struggle to find exactly what their community is, who they're catering to, who's going to vibe with them. And then on the other end of things, it's when you're a participant in those classes, finding that instructor or that person that really helps motivate you and makes you want to keep coming in. And like you said, people are bonding with you and like who you relate to the most. It's often enough. Who do you relate to the most and who wants to like take the time to get to know you? So I had some users. That was weird.
Some users?
I meant some listeners. some user input info. So I had some of our listeners DM me with some stories or DM us with some stories. And I asked for horror stories. Like what happened that made you really want to try to find your people? Because the first time you went into the gym, maybe that wasn't it. So one of our listeners said, I was working out of the gym alone once and some guy came up to me to give me his card for his personal training business. And he told me to give him a call if I ever wanted to get serious about getting in shape. And she goes, I literally want to vom just thinking about it. And that kind of story is jarring because you think about it in the sense, it's very insulting for someone to come up to you and say, you know, if you really want to get serious about that, maybe you should, you know, come and work out with me. Not exactly what you want to do. Another listener, a local personal trainer, used to put on fitness camps for athletes at our high school throughout the school years and summers. Following senior year, I was going to be playing collegiate field hockey. And like a lot of other athletes in the same boat, I decided to use them to help me get ready for preseason. For my consultation, I had brought my workout packet that was given to me by my field hockey coach, and he completely disregarded it and basically told me if I followed his workouts, I would be all set. Needless to say, I was very unprepared for preseason because I trusted him, thought he knew what he was doing. My parents had also put in a lot of money during these training sessions. This definitely turned me off to personal training and boutique fitness for a long time, but I'm glad that I finally found my people and workout community that works for me. And it's hard because I feel that once you have that one negative experience, it's easy to write it all off altogether.
Yeah. It's easy to be like, all right, this isn't for me.
Right. And
if I like judged every workout class on one bad experience, then I
probably wouldn't have it.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Any place I'd want to go.
Exactly.
Because like we said at the beginning of this conversation, it's finding those people that you relate to the most, that care about you, that want to get to know you, that foster that environment that makes you feel safe, makes you feel comfortable, motivated. And it is a trial and error way to go.
Another one of our clients, I remember telling me that she went to a personal trainer who pushed her way too hard to a point where she like slipped a disc in her back. And it was her first session and they like were making her do a leg press and like made her do too much weight when she was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. And the trainer was like, yes, you can.
Yeah.
And made her do it. And she just slipped a disc. She had to go to the hospital.
And the freakiest part is when you're a client, and I've been a client before, I've been trained by personal trainers. I used to do similar to what the last girl said. I went to a little camp for collegiate athletes and I worked out 6 days a week with personal trainers and it was great. And I had a really positive experience, which was amazing. But for that example, I don't blame, it's easy to be like, oh, well, that is her fault because she didn't just stop. And if you think about it, this is someone you're putting your trust into.
100%.
If your trainer's saying you can do it, you're paying them for their expertise.
Yeah, and to be motivated. Yeah.
You're going to trust that they're right.
100%.
And that you're in good hands and that you're safe. So a lot of that falls back on the trainer. You have to take into account the limits of the client. And also, if they're saying that's probably not right for them, it's probably not right for them.
Yeah.
And it's funny that is another story because we had another person come in one time and a similar thing happened. It was the freaking leg press machine, and the trainer overloaded it a ton, and she couldn't straighten her legs for like 3 days because her hamstrings were so tight because of how heavy.
Oh my gosh.
And this guy made this girl put on like super minimal clothing, like a sports bra and teeny tiny shorts to take progress photos, and didn't really ask permission, and was just like, this is required if you're going to work out with me. You have to take progress photos. You have to weigh in. You have to take measurements. And
that's just not my style.
that's not our style at all.
No.
And you know, if it is your vibe, totally fine. But it's really being super clear with what you're looking for. With our personal training and small group training, we do we do intro calls to make sure that you know exactly what we're about. We know exactly what you're looking for to make sure we're a right fit. Because sometimes
if someone comes up to us and is like, hey, I'm looking to train for like a bodybuilding competition, we're not your girls.
Yeah, we're not physique trainers.
No.
So, and that's totally fine. But it's just finding that person that you are able to connect with
and trust
and
that shows you that they're listening to you and listening to your life and listening to your whatever.
Yeah. Like, well, it's just it's as equal for the trainer to trust and care for the client as much as the client cares and trusts for the trainer.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it has to be equal at that point. Equal respect, mutual respect. And also, you know, some people vibe with really scary, like screaming and yelling and like, push, go.
Yeah, some people need that.
Some people need that and some people don't. And it's trial and error. So please, if you've had one or two negative experiences in the fitness industry, any kind.
I can also speak on the boutique fitness behalf.
Yeah.
And just say that if you had a negative experience at like one spin class that like wasn't somewhere else, try a different studio. Yep. Don't rule out spin for the rest of your life. Don't rule out boxing. Don't rule out Pilates. Like,
I'm pretty sure I ruled out bar.
You did?
Yeah. And
but
I need to go back.
That wasn't a negative experience. It was just hard. Maddie hated bar more than anything. And she literally was like, I will never be back. And I was like, why? And she's like, it was the hardest thing I've ever done.
Horrible. I mean, I was a power athlete at that moment. Like, I was in swimming shape. I was by no means in bar shape. The bar shape is like every little baby muscle in your body needs to be strong.
Oh my gosh, that class. I think I had a love-hate relationship with that class. Like, I loved it because it was so challenging, but I hated it because it was so challenging.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do this.
I need to go back and get another chance.
Do you know what you should actually try? Bar 3 in Needham. I love their class.
Okay.
And it's not like as that intense as the other one. Yeah, but you should try that. I've taken theirs before and I know the owner there and she's amazing.
Okay.
So yeah.
You heard it here first, folks.
Bar 3 in Needham. Shout out to them.
But like we said before.
Or Pure Bar. Yeah. Or B-Tone. Yeah. I've taken all of them actually.
There's a lot of them. I think there's even more than that. Like independent teachers too at like yoga studios and stuff. But at the end of the day, do not write off whatever you've tried after having a negative experience. It's hard to go back. And I totally hear that. And like when you have something that you're associating with a negative experience, you never want to go back and try it. But just go to something different. Come to us. Come hang out with us.
Newberry or Framingham, baby.
Yeah. Carly teaches spin, so she can
get
you in a class.
You can come on down.
But foster your community.
Is everything okay?
I don't know. I'm having a little bit of I have heartburn. I don't know.